Hello and welcome back to Pokémon White version, where today we're going to make our way to Victory Road. Except, whoops, I forgot to have it be the correct resolution. I didn't hold start when I launched the game, and therefore it was stretch res to fill the 3DS screen instead of actual native res for the game. And so we get to hear a smidgen of Proof of a Hero from my 3DS's theme. Ah, dang it. I didn't hold start long enough. I was holding it when I pressed A and then I just let go. I'm a fool, but whatever. We're still looking for Mewtwo on the side. And who knows, maybe we'll get a shiny one today. The day that the first Lego set with a Mewtwo in it has been announced. Okay, now we've got things the right resolution. There we go. Perfectly filling my little layout instead of spilling over. Oh, it's June, which means as soon as we leave this building, it's not going to be spring anymore. Suddenly summer. Hi, trainer. Do you have a minute? I just heard this on the cross transceiver. There's a big storm on Route 7. Oh, we could have seen Thundurus yesterday. And the storm seems to be different from a natural phenomenon. So strange. So we didn't have to go to Victory Road. We just had to go in the direction of Victory Road. Good to know. Alright, let's go meet Thundurus, the whole reason that I'm even doing this run. Or at least the excuse I'm using to stream it. My, that Pokemon has come again, too. Now, child, don't you go heading into the tall grass. That Pokemon might be too much for you. We'll catch cold standing around talking in this wind and rain. It's not much, but come stay in my home a spell. Even a young'un like yourself will catch cold if you get soaked by that cold rain. Sit right down and have some soup, why don't you? I'm not one to turn down free soup. That's nice. A young'un like you shouldn't be shy. In the Unova region, you see, there's a Pokemon called Thundurus that creates thunderstorms. It flies around the region and sets loose wild winds and crashing lightning. Have some soup now, dear. It'll warm you up. A soup jam-packed with healthy vegetables. It's delicious. The heavy rain is ruining the crops I've worked so hard to raise. What a troublesome Pokemon. I thought I would try to catch it, but it flies around so fast that even when I thought I'd found it, it just flew away. In one day, it can make a lap around the entire Unova region. In the mornings, it's in the south, and in the evenings, it's in the north. It shows up here in the evenings. Phew, what a storm. Apparently, it's that Pokemon's doing. And now it's all cleared up. So, I believe this early in the afternoon, it might actually be somewhere we can reach. Not that I stand much a chance of actually catching it without a Pokemon that knows Mean Look. But we can go into a nearby route gate and see where it is right now. Route 3. What's it doing on Route 3? Oh, my clock is wrong. That would do it. I had to change the system's internal clock, not its display clock, its internal clock, in order to digitize some games, because the custom firmware required it. Actually, I'm curious, what day and time does it say this is? It says we're in 2050. That's very wrong. You know what? I'm gonna fix that. Because I don't want any Pokemon I catch to end up being recorded as having a caught date of 2050. So, give me just a sec. Going to close the visual for this system because there could be sensitive stuff when I open the settings. I don't know. Probably not, but there could be. So, yeah. In the meantime, enjoy this Mewtwo hunt in the background. It's still going. One can only imagine that it will eventually end. Okay. Where's my date and time? Like, actually, where does date and time live? I appear to have forgotten. Been so long since I've actually changed a 3DS's clock. And let me just remove the line in for now because it's got some noise on it. And if I'm not talking, it becomes... If I'm not talking and there's no game audio, it becomes very obvious that there is such... I think... Ah, there it is. Okay, so today is not October 23rd, 2050. It is, in fact, June 2nd of 2026. And it is not currently 6:08 a.m. It is 3:49 p.m. Right. Got the clock actually set. And now, holding start as I open this game. Going to plug the line in shortly. Okay, game's launched. Plugging the line in. I know that makes an unpleasant sound, but alas. And now... Right, I need to reopen the video feed. There we go. Game is back. Date and time are correct. Saving on the correct date and time. Okay, now let's see where Thundurus is. Route 4. So Route 4 is there. Probably fastest to go south from Nimbasa. I was told there was an unusual thunderstorm on Route 4. Surely it hasn't already moved. Just gonna check here and make sure it hasn't moved. Oh, now it's on Route 16. And that... Oh! Never mind, it's on Route 4. So we're saving here. I wonder... I'm going to check something. A Pokemon catch rate calculator. Apparently, it's hard to find a Gen 5 catch rate calculator. There's one. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, we found it. Okay, it's level 40. So, if I were to just throw a Poké Ball right now, then I would have a 1.567% chance of actually succeeding at catching it. And that's basically all I can do, because I don't have mean look. I could throw a Master Ball, but I'm not going to do that. So, ball, go! There's a greater than 1.5% chance of succeeding. Yeah, that wasn't it. Of note, there was an approximately 30% chance, or not 30, approximately 70% chance that I would get no shakes. So yeah, that was the most likely result. But anyway, now we've seen Thundurus. And at some point, I'm going to have to get a Pokemon who knows Mean Look and who can outspeed a Thundurus. At which point, I can actually stand a chance of catching him. And now we go to Victory Road. Victory Road stands in the way of a challenge to the Pokemon League. You need to have serious skills to get through it. The trembling before the Pokemon League is a tremor of excitement. So, we could have a very likely Fungus or Amoongus encounter by going to inspect those definite Poké Balls. Or we could try for something different. A Bouffalante? She can probably take a break. Yep. I don't imagine I'll ever use a Bouffalante. Ooh, crit capture. And it failed. Because prior to Gen 9, crit captures are not guaranteed success. They just reduce the number of checks to see if you captured a Pokemon from 4 to 2. You only need 2 successes, which does dramatically increase the odds of capture, but it doesn't guarantee them. Alright, Crocodile, this Bouffalante doesn't have much longer left to live. Alrighty. Bouffalante, the Bash Buffalo Pokemon. They charge wildly and headbutt everything. Their headbutts have enough destructive force to derail a train. Sounds to me like the reason we don't see any trains in the Unova region. Well, actually, no, there are trains. They're just... the only trains we see are subways. So, sounds to me like the reason all the trains in the Unova region run underground. Well, mostly underground. There is a point where they do go above ground. But we ain't there. I'm pretty sure it's far away from where the Bouffalante live. Wonder what happens if we try and go east from here. There's something ahead and the road is closed now. Just, there's something ahead. Wonder what that something is. They won't tell us. What do you know? It's a mushroom. As good as Amoongus is in competitive Pokemon, I don't believe it's something we particularly need for this run. Really need to get more XP on Lilligant. Yeah, that explains why she hasn't been getting any. She doesn't have any of our experience shares. Okay, so Samurot's got an experience share, and honestly, you can keep it. Archeops, I'm going to take this one. Put Archeops in front, because Archeops can actually do decently well here. And then give that experience share to Lilligant. And then I'm going to go into my bag, sort my items so the Master Ball doesn't appear before any of the Pokeballs I actually want to use. And this will probably be another mushroom. Yep. Thanks, Effect Spore. I could just go back to the Pokemon Center, but honestly, I've got antidotes. And another Bouffalante. Hey there, Califor. Turns out, an itemless acrobatics from an Archeops is fairly potent. There is no end to mastering Pokemon battles. So today was payday for me, which is nice. And I have instantly spent some of the money placing orders for the few remaining Japanese Pokemon game cartridges that I have been missing. So once those show up, I will have a full collection of Japanese Pokemon game cartridges that are notably Japanese, like have the Japanese language and no other. Not gonna bother getting Japanese copies of the Gen 6 onward games, because those games have all the language options built into every game, so there's no meaningful difference besides the sticker on the cartridges from Japan. It's hard to have no end, but if you change your perspective, you'll see we can enjoy them forever. Feels like there should be a thing here. There is a thing here. I've survived a lot of fierce battles with my Pokemon. I don't think I will lose. Oh, and in other Pokemon news, I've been playing through yet another run of Legends Arceus, so that this time I'll be able to actually choose Adaman, and thus get Dialga in a standard Pokeball. I have just reached the Cobalt Coastlands in that game, or in that file, and I have found one shiny already. A male hippopotas. On my very first trip to the Crimson Mirelands, it was just hanging out. So that's neat. I didn't need a male hippopotas. I already had both genders of hippopotas in shiny form. Not even from Legends Legends ZA, I just had them from before. But I'm not one to turn down an extra shiny. If I'm not mistaken, strength is the only thing I have here that hits bug. So instead, let's use Fire Monkey. I enjoy a good Fire Monkey. I do not enjoy a bad Fire Monkey. Thankfully, I don't have one of those on this party. Shiny Mewtwo! We found it! On today, the day that a Mewtwo Pokemon... well, a Mewtwo Lego set was announced. So hooray! How thematic. Let's put this Mewtwo to sleep. My heart is not broken. I will survive further fierce battles with my Pokemon, and I will become much stronger. Okay, now that the Mewtwo's asleep, let's go ahead and get rid of pressure. I'm the best around here. Can you possibly be a match for me? Yes. And now that pressure is gone, let's go ahead and soak this Mewtwo so its psychic moves don't do quite so much damage. And we'll use the last turn of this first Spore to slap a Rotocash down. Very kind of the Mewtwo to stay asleep for that whole opening. Also, just crit me with Psycho Cut. What a jerk. And now back to sleep for Mewtwo. I don't know that Ancient Power will actually do that much coming from an Archeops, but dang it, I'll give it a shot. Show me an Omni Boost. It's shown me an Omni Boost. There's my Lux Balls. Luxury Ball, go! We got our Omni Boost, but now Defeatist is active, which I believe makes us weaker than we were before the Omni Boost. Great. Fire Monkey, go! And put that Mewtwo back to sleep. Do not leave Fire Monkey in front of Water Fish, which is really just a standard type of fish. Dive, huh? And gotta put the Mewtwo back to sleep. Now to slurp up this fish. Should heal my Smeargle, because I don't know that it's guaranteed to survive another hit. And more luxury balls. And caught the Mewtwo! Hooray! Perhaps the secret of your strength is your commitment. Oh boy, if that's what it is, then yeah, my shiny hunting on the side of all these Pokemon games I've been playing definitely proves some manner of commitment. Also, the fact that I'm playing this run of this game right now, specifically so that I can get another form of a Pokemon I've already got in a Poké Ball. In a Poké Ball. Yeah, I suppose that shows commitment. Anyway, we have now saved post Mewtwo. And that means it's time to go look at it in a box. As is tradition. Stop! Redmond! Hang on. Can you give me a moment first? Drayden and Professor Juniper told me you're heading for the Pokemon League, right? Yes. Since it's Alder, since it's the champion, I think it will be all right. Worst case scenario, you'll be battling Team Plasma's boss, N. I need to know if you can handle it. Can you give me a sec? I just realized I forgot to heal my Archeops after that last battle. No? Not gonna give me a sec? Alright, let's rest our Pokemon over there. I wonder if I use a heal right now, because this isn't damage that his Pokemon caused me, so it's not rude to do this. I am giving him a free turn is what I'm doing. I know I typically say that it is rude to heal your Pokemon if your opponent hasn't done so yet, but I instead granted him a free turn that he wasted with Detect, but whatever. Ancient Power, go! Oh, he didn't waste it with Detect, so there you go. First turn might as well not have existed. And yep, that sure is a shiny Mewtwo in that box. Along with a shiny Regirock that I got between streams. And a shiny Suicune that I got between streams. That one showed up real quick. And a new shiny Landorus that I got between streams. Yeah, there's actually, now that I got that Mewtwo, only 4 Pokemon that I have left to get shinies of in Ultra Space. But let's go ahead and save again now that we have seen the Mewtwo in the box. And then change game cards. Ultra Moon out. Ultra Sun in. Ultra Sun open. All right. We are now properly set up. And we're going for the Dark Noodle. Just gotta wait for it to not be green. And yeah, I've already got a shiny Rayquaza, but I've got... there is nothing that I don't have available in Ultra Space. I just don't have them all specifically from Ultra Space. Okay, we gotta hope that skull does not do either 50% of our health, which it one-shot us, okay. I was gonna say, hope it doesn't do either 50% of our health or burn us, but I guess neither of those fully encompassed what it was going to do. It outspeeds us. There is absolutely nothing my Lilligant can do to this superior. And therefore, we shall monkey. I don't like that its defense rose, but we're gonna Flare Blitz anyway. Oh, it's faster than us. Okay, so we only get the one Flare Blitz, that's for sure. Hopefully, it's enough. It's enough! Gotta love Sheer Force. Unfortunately, Darmanitan took himself out, or herself out, in the process. Okay, so we have seen Unpheasant, Simipour, and Superior, which means that of the Pokemon that we have known Cheren to have, I believe Liepard is left. That's a Liepard. My Pokemon and I will put all our energy into this battle. I don't mind that taunt one bit, Cheren. Thank you. You really are great. Yep, you are something else, and I mean that sincerely. Right, now I have to make your Pokemon healthy. Right now, there's no way I can compete with you, Redmond. If there's anything I can do to help in the battle with N, just say so. Redmond, there's not much I can do to help you, but I want you to have these. Still, it's kind of funny. Everyone's so different. Funny at a time like this. Come on, Cheren, could you just smile just for once? Taking everything so seriously all the time isn't going to change anything. You know, since we've met our Pokemon and walked the same roads together, a lot has happened. We've all changed a lot. We found out that the things we want to do and the things we can do are different for each of us, right? That's what's made our journey so worth it. Somehow, all this just makes me happy. So that's what you mean. You are right that we're all different and we should do the things that we can do. There are as many truths and ideals as there are people and Pokemon. The most important thing is that we help one another out. That's why people and Pokemon are always by each other's side. That's what I've come to think lately. Redmond, if anything happens to you or Alder, I will do everything I can to help you. That's why I have to keep training and getting stronger. Just don't be reckless, okay? He's gone. Redmond? Me too. I'll do my best to help if I can. So, I wish I could say something like totally inspiring, you know? Okay. Best foot forward. I could have had a rufflet. Which admittedly evolves like a million years too late, but still. Be nice if I found a shiny Rayquaza today. It's been a while since I've gotten a 2 shiny day and been able to do on-camera Celebi checks. I've done like 1,000 off-camera Celebi checks since the last on-camera ones, and still no shiny Celebi, but that's to be expected with 1 in 8192 odds. Rip Uniclus. It feels almost like they just recorded an actual bull to get the Bouffalant cry. An Amoongus. Another Amoongus. I've always wondered why they felt the need to add a second S at the end. Because, like, Foongus only has the one S. So why does Amoongus have 2 S's? Also, this makes it real clear that this Pokemon's name is only legible in this font thanks to context. If we didn't have an N in there along with the M, would that read as an M? I don't believe so. It's a little too compressed to be very legible without the additional context of having an N in the same name. Mwahaha! I will leave here for Victory Road. It's my hobby to win against trainers. With only one Pokemon? I mean, Sock isn't exactly bad. Yeah, like, the W in Sock there. If they had just flipped that upside down for the M in Amoonguss, it would have been plenty legible without additional context, but that's not what they did. Yeah, not even a sturdy Sock. Rather than enjoying defeating someone, should I aim higher? I guess the Pokemon League is the place to find a better class of challengers. Is dog. An intimidating dog. You know, it's kind of interesting. I went from a Mewtwo shiny hunt to now a Rayquaza shiny hunt, which means back to back I've gone from hoping something was green to hoping something is not green. Victory Road! I'll test myself by fighting against you to see if I'm ready to climb it. Archeops does not make a very good counter for Boldore. Oh no, my otter has been grounded. Victory Road! It really is amazing! Or it is really amazing. That's the road to the Pokemon League! You made it this far. Well done. That's an impressive accomplishment. To show the respect I feel for you, I would like to present you with this gift. Okay, thanks. It's a Dusk Stone. This item makes certain Pokemon evolve. I used one to evolve a Lampent from the Celestial Tower. I don't feel like Roar is a very good reward for all that. Oh, wow. There are only 2 Pokemon in the Unova Dex that learn Mean Look through level up. Or 2 lines. Hey, my Pokemon are great! Look, look! And those 2 lines? The Patrat line and the Yamask line. Those are the only 2 lines that learn Mean Look through level up in Unova. You can breed it onto Snivy, Sandile, Gothita, Ponyard, and Vullaby, or Vullaby. But it's egg moves for them. Was really hoping that it would just be a level up move for Crocodile. Because that way I would have a nice electric immunity with Mean Look without needing to raise an additional Pokemon. But alas! Gonna take a little bit more effort to get someone who can look meanly at the Thundurus. I'm called an ace trainer, but that doesn't sit well with me. Because I just love Pokemon and I just want to be strong. I've seen a lot of trainers. You seem to have the same aura that I felt from strong trainers. Beartic is probably not the best matchup for an Archeops. And yet, Ancient Power is super effective, and if I get the Omni Boost, then hooray Omni Boost. Oh, nice one-shot. Oh, crit. And Omni Boost, dang! The chances of a crit and an Omni Boost happening on the same turn are remarkably low. Because a crit's what, like 4%? And Omni Boost is what, 10%? Which would make this a roughly 0.4% occurrence? Do I want Aqua Tail? Nah, not accurate enough. I'm fine with Surf and Aqua Jet. So, with an Omni Boost, Acrobatics should do pretty darn well against this Seismitoad. Yeah. This Scavalier may be part Steel type, but it's still part Bug. And therefore, neutral damage from Acrobatics with an Omni Boost. Yeah. We were quite set up for this battle after that Omni Boost. You have abundant kindness as well as strength. Hey, look, it's the badge check gates. Halt! Unqualified ones shall not pass! The key to open this closed gate is the Trio badge. Well, good thing I've got it. Oh, holder of the Trio badge, challenge all that you face. Technically... Oh, no, we can't surf here. I was going to say, technically, this could be a place for a new encounter. Halt! The key to open this gate is the basic badge. Oh, holder of the basic badge, show the knowledge you've obtained. Actually, let's check our map. Just to be sure here. Not the dowsing machine. Okay, this is still Route 10, which means I am not entitled to a new encounter here. Even if the badge gates are clearly different from Route 10 proper. Of course, the last patch of grass stops me. Halt! The key to open this gate is the insect badge. Oh, holder of the insect badge, fight valiantly like an insect. I don't want to fight like an insect. Halt! The key to open this gate is the bolt badge. Oh, holder of the bolt badge, unfurl a shocking battle! Gates are placed at the border of one space and another space. In other words, gates mean that the world beyond here is a different world. It does feel like every time you pass through a gate, you're going to a different world. And you remember the gym leader who gave you the badge at the same time. But without the Quake badge, you cannot proceed. Good news, we can't even get here without the Quake badge, so what's even the point? Halt! The key to open this gate is the Quake badge! Oh, holder of the Quake badge, make your foes' hearts tremble! Halt! The key to open this gate is the Jet badge! Oh, holder of the Jet badge, blast ahead with tremendous force! I've done indoor skydiving. Let me tell you, you don't do it by staying vertically aligned and just walking on air. That's not how it works. Halt! The key to open this gate is the Freeze badge! Oh, holder of the Freeze badge, show the sharp edge of an icicle! Icicles aren't known for having sharp edges, they're known for having sharp points. Processing. Halt! The key to open this gate is the Legend badge! Oh, holder of the Legend badge, pass through Victory Road, which lies beyond here, and head for the Pokémon League. Prove that you too can be a legend. Alright, so in here, there is a 20% chance that I don't know why I'm saving. It's not as if I'm going to reset if I don't get it. There's a 20% chance that I will find the Pokemon that I am hoping to find. There is also a 20% chance that I will find something that I've already caught, and thus can ignore. But unfortunately, there's a 60% chance that I will find something that I am not allowed to say no to. That is the most common result, a 40% chance, and not what I was hoping for. I wanted a dino. I know I wouldn't be able to evolve it into a Hydreigon before finishing this, but still, I like Hydreigon. Meanwhile, Durant, I'm not the hugest fan of. And now the important question, is this a truant Durant? Whatever, I'll use a Hyper Potion. Or no, I won't. I'll use Swap to Samurott to find out if it's truant. If it is truant, then it can be worth picking up. It is not truant, and therefore I do not want it. Truant Durants are able to break the AI in Pokemon games, because they can learn entrainment, I believe it is, or perhaps skill swap. Well, they learn one of the two. And thus, you can give Truant to your opponents. And with a mixture of that and Protect, you can just cheese every battle. Well, so much for the Ripley water there. Actually, now that we're in Victory Road... No, never mind. I was gonna say, swapping Lilligant out front wouldn't be the worst plan. Because, yeah, we've got Bulldor, we've got Basculin. Outdoors... No. And honestly, it's just Boldore and Basculin. Those are the only two things that Lilligant hits super effective here. My thinking was like, oh yeah, there's tons of rock and ground type Pokemon in Victory Roads. Not this one. In this one, there's Boldore and Basculin. There are no ground types here. And there's only the one rock type. And there's only the one water type that we can find on the water here. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of options for things to find. Not a lot of variety. I swear if this ends up being a dino. Okay, it's another Durant. That one was probably Truant. Because isn't it like Truant or Sturdy? Again, so much for the Ripley spot. Though the only thing we can find in the Rippling spot is red striped Basculin. What EVs does Basculin give? 2 speed. Well, that means that EV training for speed is... Oh, wow. Bye, Lilligant. EV training for speed in this game is super easy because, yeah, Basculin is the only thing you can find while surfing here. So just 2 speed EVs every time. I'm pretty sure we're going to find a doctor soon. I'll still use a regular revive just to ensure that Lilligant starts getting XP again. Before going to the Pokemon League, let me test my skills. Good old not a fairy yet Whimsicott. Not that it not being a fairy mattered at all for this battle, but it's not a fairy yet. We do not leave our Archeops in front of a Zebstrika. Especially not a Zebstrika that outlevels it by 1. I don't think we have anything worth replacing with U-turn. The Elite Four are said to be waiting at the Pokemon League. I wonder what kind of people they are. Well, one of them is a writer. Another's a martial artist type. One's I believe a gambler. And the last one is a former frontier brain. Listen, you can slide down the cliffs here. Watch me. Now you try it. Screaming noise. It's a long way down. I can't do it. I mean, he's just an evolution of the standard jump over a ledge. You can slide down the cliffs here at Victory Road. Takes some nerve the first time, but it's fun. And this is our first outdoor encounter in Victory Road. And it's a Heatmore. I do not need a Heatmore. It's neat that we found it. I do like the evolutionary arms race that is bug turned steel, anteater turned fire. But I'm just not a huge fan of Heatmore. So it used Snatch and we got an Omni Boost. Is it going to get... No, it's not going to get the Omni Boost. Imagine if it did. Anyway, I don't need Heatmore. Who needs a Fire Anteater when you have a Fire Monkey? Indeed, Califor Monkey does always win against Anteater. Especially when it's Darmanitan. Darmanitan's just a really good monkey. Weird that the Ultra Ball is on the spot next to the dark spot and not on the dark spot. Okay, we can hop down, but that just takes us somewhere we've already been. An ace trainer like me has pride, so I won't lose. And you think I have no pride, sir? Well, that's going to be Defeatist triggered if it's not just an outright KO'd Archeops. No, just Defeatist. And yet, I think even through Defeatist, this should be a KO. Yep. And my other 3DS appears to be frozen. One of those times where it takes a remarkably long time to actually do the soft reset. There it goes. Thanks for the flinch. Don't you dare flinch me twice in a row. Rude. Oh, a crit. And a flinch. Hang on a sec. Does Steamroller just, like, always flinch? Because if so, that's super lame. I don't know what Steamroller is. I don't think I've seen that move recently. The user crushes its targets by rolling over them with its rolled-up body. This attack may make the target flinch. Secondary effect. May cause the opponent to flinch. Effect rate. Not specified on Cerebi, that's for sure. It is a 30% chance of causing the target to flinch if you go before the target. So they just got the 30% chance 3 times in a row. Thanks, game. Four times in a row. Yeah, just... They've gotten 4 30% chances in a row. Thanks, game. Notably, there is a 0.81% chance of that happening. So we just had a sub 1% unlucky event. I think we'll actually no, we'll put superpower instead of hammer up. Pride does not mean acting arrogantly. I'm really proud of what I've achieved in my life. Califor, I think I prefer Defeatist to Slow Start. At least in an environment without, like, wheezing. Mainly just because you can at least... like, Defeatist is on a Pokemon that's relatively fast in its metagame. So, like... its stats are balanced around it having Defeatist. It hits hard, it hits fast. What more are you going to ask for? Meanwhile, Slow Start, needing to stick around for 5 turns without swapping in order to actually unlock full power, it's the much bigger nerf. So yeah, Defeatist I will take over Slow Start pretty much any day. That said, it's a real question which is worse between Defeatist and Emergency Exit. Because they both have an effect at half health. But would you rather hit for half as hard or get swapped out before you make a move? Honestly, I think Emergency Exit in many situations is the worse option. But it's on a Pokemon that gets First Impression, which at least is a priority move. So, like, you gotta weigh that. Getting swapped out after you've used First Impression isn't terrible. Though if what you were trying to use was not First Impression, then Emergency Exit is just atrocious. If you get swapped out before you can use your move, there is no upside. It's just a terrible ability to have. It's your opponent just got to do free damage. And sure, maybe you got to reposition a little. But is that repositioning enough that it's worth losing half the health on whatever had Emergency Exit? Wait, you, young trainer over there. Look at my Pokemon. Okay. Alright, it's a Beheeyem. What about it? You very emphatically told me to look at it, so what about it? I'm not a fan of that Thunderbolt. That's going to activate Defeatist, if not get a KO. If we had this level before going into battle, the Behemoth would have died to the first crunch. We may have Defeatist on, but a no-item stab acrobatics that is super effective should still be pretty decent here. Just 2 Pokemon in a row. You were like 1 HP short. That crit didn't help. And probably didn't change much. Yeah, it didn't. But it sure didn't help. As a Pokemon grows, its connection to its trainer will improve, and their bond becomes stronger. So, fun fact about that veteran's name, Tiffany. It's one of those names that sounds, you know, modern. And yet, like, it sounds modern enough that if you use it in, say, a historic fantasy book, it'll make people, it'll make people think, oh, you're using a modern name in a historic setting? That's wrong. But no, Tiffany's actually quite an old name. Originates from, as a nickname for an ancient Greek name, Theophania. So, like, the name Tiffany has been around for, like, a long time. Circa 1200 is when the Old French form Tiffany appeared. And the spelling that we see here, Tiffany, well, I guess we don't see it here, but that we saw in the battle, that first appeared in English circa 1600. And yes, California, my Samurott does have Torrent, so yeah, that was... the Samurott being in red health absolutely was going to do lots of damage, but Torrent triggers at 30%. You don't got to be in red health for it. Yeah, using the name Tiffany in historical fiction seems to modern audiences like it's anachronistic, but it's actually accurate. Which is kind of amusing. And there's Defeatist. Oh boy, my Pokemon want to brag about me. So let's start. I tried to open the menu before she spotted me, but no. Gotta go in with a Defeatist Archeops. No item Archeops. Stab, super effective. Acrobatics. Trust. Don't trust you enough to leave you in front of that Simipour. Don't you dare burn me. Dang it! How many 30% chances am I gonna get hit with in this victory road? Oh, and a crit to boot. The RNG is not my friend on Victory Road. That much is clear. I'd suggest I was paying for my shiny Mewtwo, but I paid for the shiny Mewtwo with time. Considering I've been hunting for it for several streams now. So maybe I'm paying for a shiny Rayquaza that'll show up this stream? That would be nice. Because I respect my opponents, I want to win against them. That's why I want other people to think they want to win against me. Fought a trainer who gave us a burn in order to get my hands on a full restore. That doesn't seem super worth it. But we also got the money that the trainer gave us upon defeating her, so I guess it was probably worth it. I'm just gonna run away from Boldors. They are guaranteed to have sturdy, which means they're always going to take longer than they're worth. Now, if I had a mold breaker, like, say, Fracture, which we could get here, or could have gotten here, rather, then it might be different, but since I have no means of ignoring sturdy, I'm just not going to bother with it. And now I am out of ancient power on this bird for now. Until we find the doctor that I know is here on Victory Road somewhere. Problem with running from Boldors, even that results in them being a waste of time. Every time a Boldor shows up, my time has been wasted, whether I kill it or not. Whenever I'm lost, I meet a trainer. Of course we're gonna fight. I feel like fighting people specifically when you're lost isn't the best of ideas. Like, when you're lost is when you should be more into asking them for help or directions rather than a fight. Let's use Fly instead of Acrobatics here. I think Fly should get rid of a Scrafty, and, like, we're really low on Acrobatics PP. Or we can just miss with Fly, that's also an option. Wow, even after the scary face, we're still faster. Haha. Nice miss. Well, now Fly is definitely going to pick up the KO. I feel like a high jump kick should be able to hit things that are flying. But I guess maybe it's not that high of a jump kick. We're just going to Acrobatics this Cuck Elder. The fact that we still outsped that entire team after a scary face. I mean, yeah, Archeops is pretty fast. When people move ahead, they get lost or they stop. At those moments, Pokemon give you courage to keep moving forward. There's the doctor. I'm a doctor. If you have Pokemon in bad shape, let me see your Pokemon in battle. You want to see Pokemon in bad shape? What kind of doctor are you? Well, that looks eminently crunchable. And that looks very acrobaticsable. Non-defeatist. Stab, no item. Quadruple effective acrobatics from Archeops. That just did probably like infinite damage. I aim to be the best doctor in the world. But first I intend to become the best trainer in the world. Well, it's gonna be a long road, bud. Two can play at that game. Be neat if I found a shiny Boldor. That at least wouldn't be a waste of time. Okay, is left or right going to lead me to something that I want? Looks like they both lead me to the same place. And now the question is left or right from here? And the answer is they lead to the same place. I know there is at least one spot on this here Victory Road where they lead to separate paths. But clearly this ain't it. They need to do some repairs on this Victory Road. Nice miss with that fly. I've missed fly twice in the last, like, 5 times I've used it. It's a 5% chance to miss. Seriously, RNG hates me on this Victory Road run. Just absolute antagonism. I haven't gone over here yet, have I? No, we have. This is how we got up here to begin with. Before we pushed the strength rock. I promise, Fracture and Dino are in the encounter pools for outdoors and indoors. Even though we have yet to see either one. Forget whether we've gone upstairs yet. We have not. I've thought about what I can do to help my Pokemon win, and finally I figured out the answer. Unfortunately, there's not much my Archeops can do against a Steel type. Not as long as they still resist Dark. I need to hydrate. I'm going to do that. Hey, look, it's a monkey. I know that monkey. But does that monkey know how to dig? We do not leave fire monkeys in front of water ground toads. Read what your opponent wants to do. Your opponent is human and may change plans from moment to moment. Be careful. Actually, my opponents are not human. They're computer controlled. So clearly here, left is closer to the door. And left was an answer, not necessarily the correct one, because there's another door down there. So where is this? Oh, this is somewhere we've already been, is it not? In which case left was the incorrect answer. But not necessarily as punishing an incorrect answer as it could have been. Also, dang it, defeatist. Yep, just took us one floor down. Not the worst. Watch fly miss again. Oh, it didn't. Good. Doesn't mean I've forgiven the RNG yet, though. Why, I'm not gonna forgive the RNG today unless it shows me a dark Rayquaza. Even though that's a completely separate game's RNG, still. The people who pass by here have such different moods. It's fun to watch, and even more fun to fight against them. A Gigalith, you say? First time we've seen one of those. Do I know why I chose to send out Samurott instead of Lilligant? No. But it's what happened. Unfortunately, if that thing uses Stone Edge again, we just lose our Samurott. And there it is. Unless it misses? Nope. If I'd sent out Lilligant from the start, we probably wouldn't have lost anybody. Do I want Petal Dance? Base 120 power is really nice. And you know what? I've clicked Leech Seed all of like once, and it's mattered all of like never. Goodbye, Leech Seed. Now we've got an option for healing and an option for just raw power. And more than 10 PP on this Lilligant are capable of doing damage now. And you know what? Let's try out this new Petal Dance. Crunch is better than what I was fearing might come. I was thinking that, oh, maybe this thing has Flamethrower. Winning is good, but winning is not everything. Don't lose sight of what's important. So while we could go back down and explore more, the smart thing to do is to get to the end of Victory Road before you do too much exploration, because that way, or rather before you do anything that requires exploring down from the top, because that way you can use Fly to get back to the top instead of needing to walk back up to the top. It's much more efficient. And I was going to say there's Defeatist, but nope, it's not that. Reuniclus actually can't hit steel types. Well, most steel types for even neutral damage, but we don't need to do neutral damage to get this thing out of here. So let's hop out of Victory Road, get some heals, and then go back into Victory Road to finish it up. Finally, we can buy Lux Balls. Not that I specifically need them, but I do like to have them, just in case a shiny shows up. It looks like there's an item down there, but it's such a long way. Do you have the courage? What do you call that, huh? I call it courage. And where do these stairs go? There's lots of them. I promise Dino is in the encounter table. We've already seen a couple things that are actually rarer than Dino. And yet we have yet to see a Dino. I was about to say, surely there's an item up on this ledge. And there was. 2, in fact. Game, you know it'd be cool if you ever showed me a dino. I know they're here. I also know that per the rules of my run, I'm not allowed to catch one. But still, I know they're here. And I like them. Just show me one. Ooh, Dragonclaw, that's a nice find. Do we have anyone who learns it? Crocodile and Archeops both. So, Ancient Power has done pretty good for us so far. Mainly because we've gotten really lucky with our Omni boosts. But I think it's time to replace it. And it wouldn't hurt for Crocodile to also know a dragon move, though Strength is what I would want to replace, and we'd have to go visit the move deleter for that. So we're just going to skip it. I swear, game. I swear you have things you can show me other than Durants and Boldors. Sure, those two may make up 60% of the encounter table, but there's other things here. Dino has the same encounter rate as Boldor. And we found like infinite Boldors and no Dinos. Woobat's at 10%. We found a few of those. And we've also found a Mienfoo or two, and actually more than two, I believe. And those are also 10%. There's a whole 20% wedge of this encounter table we just have not seen. I know I walked right past the doctor when I could have used him to heal, but considering as soon as I'm outdoors, I'm going to fly to the nearest Pokemon Center. It's less necessary to make use of the doctor. Was just checking to make sure whether there was anything we wanted here, and there sure was. Not that I'm going to teach Wild Charge to anyone, but it's nice to have another TM. And we have been down here before. So just one more direction to investigate. I just flew to Victory Road. Where's that going to drop me? Is it going to drop me at the foot? It sure is. Not where I want to be. Quite the opposite side of the Victory Road from where I want to be, actually. You know what? I haven't checked where I get if I go down there. Ah. Okay, so there really is only the one direction for us to go that we haven't gone before, and it's in the cave on the top floor, and then down the stairs to the left. Wait, isn't this where Terrakion lives? Well, not much I can do about it. Because there's what looks like a previous gen Strength Rock, but what is not in this gen a Strength Rock. Using Dig against a flying opponent. Alright, so we are done here in Victory Road. Time to head to the Pokemon League, but I'm not going to challenge it today because I don't know that I have time for a full run through the Pokemon League. Plus, I want to have there at least be something to the next stream. And thus, we're going to go into the Pokemon Center. Which, without the happy Pokemon Center music, just, it feels wrong. I'm going to do one more Rayquaza check. This Poké Ball is aligned differently from most. Because instead of our first step that takes us inside the Poké Ball taking us like onto the dot but only halfway down it, now we're at the top of the dot in the middle, and now we're... It's different! Now I don't know which is the right place to stand. Like, I guess still here, because this is the part that puts our sprite on top of the center dot. So, yeah, I guess here. Even though it's different from usual. And that is not a Dark Rayquaza, so only one shiny today. Oh well. But that's going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. And I will be back on Thursday. I think. Probably. Not 100%. My cousin's coming to visit from out of town. I don't know when she's going to get in. But probably back on Thursday for finishing this run. See you then, friends.